Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for April 19th, 2021, with your host, Peacemaker2448, and Ramp It Up Salon.
I totally didn't hit the wrong scene. Hit the 4x3 going up to it. I'm like, crap.
I mean, that's fine. This show's in 4x3.
I mean, fair.
So, we have more Beast Wars to talk about. Unfortunately, it is not the most interesting 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Beast Wars starts incredibly slow.
Also, if it seems like I'm distracted, I refer back to the end of the pre-show.
It's called we're trying to get our release things back up and running, and it's decided no. I refuse.
I made the mistake of starting this about an hour ago. That was my first mistake. Shouldn't have done that. Because now I'm puzzled, and now I'm trying to figure this out.
God, that sounds like me with a problem. I'm just like, no, I'm an hour in. I gotta solve this. What do you mean it's 3 o'clock in the morning?
What do you know what's bad about this problem? It's all functioning properly, except for it refuses to show the actual releases. Everything else is functioning exactly like it was supposed to.
So it's the normal thing that you should tell people of, this is why you don't get into programming too much. This is your future.
I don't see it. Like, that's the problem. I didn't touch anything on that part of it.
Well, we've got 9 through 12 to talk about this week. Any thoughts before we hit the recaps on them?
No?
Alright then, we kick off with episode 9, A Better Mousetrap. The Predacons, specifically Pterosaur, Blackarachnia, and Waspinator, are planting a device in the crack of a wall in a cave underneath the maximal base that will cause, I think, an earthquake and blow a hole in the bottom of the maximal base so they can get in. That is the B plot, I think. Is it the A plot or the B plot of this episode?
Yes.
So Waspinator gets tired of being the one to try to shove this thing in the crack, so he leaves. So Blackarachnia and Pterosaur are the ones stuck dealing with it. Meanwhile, Rhinox is demoing their new defense grid Sentinels non-lethal weapons to most of the Maximals. It's almost ready, but Primal is called away because they spot Waspinator on the radar, and it's like the 3rd time a Predacon's been in that area, and they're like, we should go investigate this, so Primal leaves. He ends up meeting up with Tigertron, and the two of them decide to just piss Waspinator off and just see where he runs off to. Which makes sense. Waspinator is not the brightest tool in the show. Meanwhile, Dinobot sees the demo and he doesn't approve of it being non-lethal because it's Dinobot. He prefers it to have been lethal. Which Rattrap's like, I'll shoot him with one of the fancy gun things. And this pisses off Dinobot, who proceeds to accidentally stab one of the consoles when Rhinox was going to put in the friend or foe tag system in, so that Sentinel knows not to consider them threats. So now they have to evacuate the base. To Rattrap's credit, because this is his fault, he immediately runs off to fix it, deciding that he's just going to sneak into Sentinel's core and turn it off so they can get the base back. Meanwhile, Primal shakes up Waspinator, but loses him in a cliffside, and after getting called about Sentinel locking down the base, he leaves, and Tigertron's left to go find Waspinator on his own. Meanwhile, everyone else is stuck outside the base as Sentinel pulls up the shields, and they're unable to penetrate it. While Rat Trap decides to have fun infiltrating the base, essentially, because this is the episode where he kind of says that he's a spy. So I honestly I don't know what Rat Trap's backstory is. I honestly don't know what the backstory is of anyone on the main cast of this show, really. Because I don't think they really get into anyone. At least of the core crews. Meanwhile, Tigertron finds the Predacons, he steals the device, and then returns it to them further in the cave. Then it ends up blowing a hole outside of Maxwell base instead of in it, and he regroups with the Maxwells after the Predacons leave. And we follow Rat Trap infiltrating the base until he eventually gets to the core, but gets stuck and seemingly is killed. And the episode almost ends until Rat Trap comes down the elevator, annoyed at everyone being sad that he's dead. And that's the episode. Which takes us to episode 10, Guerrilla Warfare. So, Primal and Dinobot are out exploring because Primal is an explorer, not a soldier, so he wants to explore. They find a flower that doesn't like Dinobot because it shoots him in the back of the head with seed to annoy him. I love how much Dinobot is just snarking this entire time of just like, I don't want to be here. I don't like any of this. Why did you bring me? Why am I the one accompanying you on this? But they're eventually ambushed by Scorponok, who shoots Primal with a Cyber Bee that ejects him with what's supposed to be a toxin that makes him a coward. And also reroutes all of his life support systems into the bee so they can't take it off. Except doesn't. But we'll get there. But they fight him off and get back to base where the team finds this out. Only for Primal to break out of the recovery chamber. Because instead of making him a coward, it's turned him into a berserker rage monster. Oh no. Oh, they also can't take off the bee because it also is a bomb. Because, of course, it also has to be a bomb. But Primal gets a hold of himself long enough to tell them to take his weapons offline and lock him up at the brig, which they do. And we check in with the Predacons real quick to find out that there is an antitoxin for this to reverse it, but Megs and Scorponok have it, and Megs plans to use this as leverage to get the Maximals to surrender. Back with the Maximals, Cheetor talks to Primal, helps him recover a bit. And they eventually land on the plan of Primal charges in headfirst to cause a distraction so everyone else can try to get into the base and find the cure. Because that'll work. But eventually Primal accidentally trips the alarm, gets pissed, and then runs off, and now everyone's just left going, well, fuck. So, Dinobot, being, I guess, the smartest person in the room at the moment, decides that maybe they should try to negotiate. And Cheetor calls in, excuse me, to the Predacon base to try to negotiate and is denied, so that didn't work. What made them think that would work?
Good question.
But now the Predacon So Primal is coming, but it won't help them because Primal just blows a hole in the side of their base, flies in, takes out Tarantulas by fucking stabbing him in the chest with his own little arrow gun thing. It just leaves him hanging on the wall. I guess to slowly go into stasis lock. And then he finds Waspinator by ripping him through a wall and then blowing him apart because Waspinator has to fall to pieces every episode if possible. That's kind of his one job. The rest of the Maxwells attack the base, which pulls most of the rest of the Predacons to the front of the base. Eventually, Cheetor will get to break off from them and run in. But we follow Primal as he makes it to the lab where Megatron has the antitoxin. He tries to get him to surrender and swear allegiance, but Primal's like, fuck that. Here's your Cyber Bee back. It rips it off his chest. It throws it on the back of Megatron's head like the flower did at the start of the episode with Dinobot. And Megatron runs off, unable to do anything about it. I guess because he also can't transform with it on him? I guess. You think he'd just transform and it would go somewhere he could deal with?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Cheetor arrives in time, catches the antitoxin that Megatron threw when he got hit in the back of the head, saves Primal. The Cyber Bee goes boom on the Predacons as the Maximals retreat. We end with Primal waking up in his quarters as Dinobot was on watch duty. It's like, it's good to have you back to normal and back in general. I may or may not left a flower on your bedside. Bye. And that's half our episodes, folks. So how'd you feel about this first half?
Kind of generic.
Yeah.
Piss. I see what doing it now, I think.
Ladies and gentlemen, the more interesting thing about this week's episode TGSR, our release tracker.
Or not. What's the actual... So it's getting the information.
Yep.
Not sorting it.
Well.
You know, kind of the thing that I did. So we didn't have 15 million PC releases.
Yeah, I would like to not read everything that comes out on Steam on a bi-weekly basis. Any other thoughts before we hit the second half?
No, because like you said, it is kind of just a generic kind of thing.
Yeah. So we kick off with episode 11, The Probe. So Maximal Command is sending out probes to try to find the Axelon since they haven't reported back in however fucking long it's been since the start of the series.
And yes.
A couple months, I guess, or so.
Yeah, you know, they don't make that too clear.
Like, there's only one time we've gotten a timetable of time, and I think it was in, like, the third episode. And it was, like, 2 months. Otherwise, we have no idea how long it's been.
Huh.
So it's been at least 2 months.
Also, you know... That now makes me wonder, why did they have that much downtime?
Let's assume there was downtime and they didn't have shit they dealt with during those 2 months that we just didn't see.
Yeah, but it almost feels like a time jump like that was kind of pointless.
True. Anywho, en route back to the base, we follow most of the Maximals as Cheetor is like, I want to race Rattrap back to base, and Primal and Titlebot share this look of just like, kids, what have we told you? I can't help but see that these days when like 2 of your older cast members just share a look like, God damn it. We tell these kids, but they just won't listen. So Primal's going to be like, hey, keep your head up. We could be attacked even though we're just outside the maximal base, but whatever. That's not the point of this episode. Back at the base, they discover the probe is in orbit currently, and they try to contact it, but it fails. But the probe is going to take a lap around the system they're in, so it will be back. And this is also another point that if you know your space stuff, you will probably recognize certain things in this episode. Just going to point it out. But since the probe is going to come back, they decide to build a relay to send out the ship's transwarp signature in order for Maxwell Command to know, oh, they're here. Unfortunately, the relay is going to be built in Predacon territory because that's the closest place they can get to. Okay. Tigertron's on lookout for him, but gets ambushed by Waspinator and Tarantulas. And he gets hit by their fancy new device that locks their transformations, so they get stuck in beast mode. Oh no. So Tigertron is currently captured. Cheetor goes to investigate the commotion and will swiftly get captured as well. Meanwhile, Dinobot brings up the very valid point of, just because I'm working with you, I'm still a Predacon criminal. I kind of would like to not go to jail.
Yeah, he kind of has a point there.
Guys, I still did crime, remember? I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, he still did the crime. Also, I'm an idiot.
What?
I was sitting there thinking, I wonder if it might just be because there's actually nothing that fits into the filters. Yeah, you didn't have anything in the list. That's exactly the problem. It is working. I was like, wait a minute, it's getting everything, but it's still not filtering. Oh. Crap. Okay, function's good.
Yay. But I do like that Primal's like, hey, we'll stand up for you. You'll get, like, time served or something, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you'll just get off with a slap on the wrist because you fucking helped us. Anyway, Rhinox finishes up signature and heads back, but the Preds have Tigertron and Cheetor back at base, locked up. And that's when they find out about the probe, and Vectron's like, oh, fuck them getting back up. We need to stop this. Fucking everyone go blow this up. So they all leave, and then Tigertron and Cheetor proceed to break themselves out and follow behind them, but a little while later, more or less. So the Preds attack the relay. The Maximals hold out long enough and more or less whittle it down to Megatron versus Optimus until Optimus, Rattrap, and Dinobot have all been hit by the device. But Rhinox shows up, knocks out Megatron, starts to put in the stuff for the relay only to get hit. And since he is Rhino, he has no hands. Primal's the only one on this team with functional hands and has to finish it, but he's injured. So they miss the probe, and Megatron blows up the relay. But Cheetor and Tigertron arrive in time to run off the Preds, but they lost. So Magical Command doesn't know where they're at, and I guess they were going to be presumed MIA forever, I guess.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that never comes back around, right?
Once. But that's because of extenuating circumstances, which we will get to at the end of this season, kind of. Well, technically, it will be start at the end of this season and continue into some point in season 3. I don't remember when. Anyway, last episode for the week, victory. So Megatron and the Predacons are arguing about this refinement process for Energon that isn't working, and the Maximals are spying on them because they set up a spy camera in their base, thanks to Rat Trap. So they watch them bicker, and it eventually, devolves into them shooting at each other, except the Predacons accidentally hit a storage tank of Energon that explodes, and the explosion is large enough that the sonic boom from it, or the sound wave from it, is heard at Maximal Base. So the Maximals go to investigate, only see a hole blown in the base, and no sign of the Predacons at all. Thus meaning the Predacons blew themselves up. So the war's over? So they go into the ship and they decide to just take the warp drive, or the transwarp drive, so they can fly the ship home, or fly their ship home. And Dinobot is not super pleased about it because, as we established, he is still criminal. He still did crime, would like not to go to jail. So he's not super in the mood for any of this. But as the Maximals take it and use it to repair their warp drive, Dinobot drops by to be like, I'm gonna stay here. And Primal's like, that's a stupid decision. And Dinobot's like, yep, I don't care. I'm gonna stay and probably explode in 3 days. I'm fine with that. Because, Dinobot can't survive on this planet, right?
I feel like the answer to that is probably no.
Yeah. He can't survive for very long on this planet. So, how long does he think he's going to be able to conquer and rule? I think Dinobot just wants to stick or stay there because he's just I don't feel like being stuck in a jail cell, so fuck it, I'll just stay here and go offline somewhere in a cave. It'd be better if I was just presumed dead along with the rest of the Predacons. Anyway, as Dinobot's roaming, he stumbles upon the Predacons, who are hiding in a crevice with sensors to mask their signature. And the Predacons see that Dinobot sees them, so they chase him as Dinobot runs to the Maximals to be like, guys, they're still alive. Maybe we should do something about this. Meanwhile, all the Maximals, including Tigertron, are working to get the ship to take off, and are starting the process as they see Dinobot crossing a hill with Predacons in tow. Primal, being leader, decides, I'm going to go rescue him. And Rhinox is like, that's a terrible decision. I can't stop this once it starts going. And he's like, fine, leave me behind. And then Cheetor decides to join him, which Rhinox is incredibly angry about because he needs people like control systems to make this thing fucking fly.
Yeah, he kind of can't do it all.
To the point that Tigertron's like, no, I want to go fight them. He's like, no, sit. Sit and work the fucking controls you have no idea how to work because you've not been in this ship until now. Just push the buttons I tell you to push. So anyway, Dinobot gets injured by the time Primal and Cheetor make it outside and try to help him. Unfortunately, the two of them get ambushed and injured in the process of them taking out the Predacons. And Cheetor ends up on the elevator for the ship as it starts to take off. Primal manages to dump Dinobot onto the elevator and hops up and catches Cheetor's hand at the last second, only for a stray missile from Scorponok to, I guess, knock Cheetor's arm enough to make him let go of Primal. So Primal falls, and the rest of the Maximals are presumably taking off to space, only for Megatron to have hopped on board and then proceeds to shoot everybody and disable them. Rat Trap's the only one left, and he's getting like squished by Megatron, only for Ronix to be like, fuck this, get off our ship, and just throws him out the elevator. Except his tail weapon got stuck in the console, and that causes the warp drive to overheat and explode, and now they're falling. Thankfully, Primal gets to pull his Superman moment because they even say the lines. I don't know why, because they even have Superman-like music playing for this. As Primal bench presses the fucking ship and helps it go right back to where it started. Like literally right back to where it was before they took off. Not a single damn thing changed. And after they landed, Dinobot and Rat Trap argue some because
that's just a relationship.
Pretty much. And that's the episode, folks. So how'd you feel about these two very similar episodes?
I kind of like the fact that we kind of got to see them actually fail.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
yeah. It's... Unfortunately, it's conceptually the same episode.
Yeah. Because they failed both times. Like, way to go, guys.
So yeah, Beast Wars, not the hottest at the moment. Not bad, but not great. Hopefully it will change.
Hopefully. Maybe.
I know it will later down the line, but right now the writing is not in the tightest of places. I assume the program continues to be a menace.
No, it's working.
Yay!
I was attempting to do something that is not gonna happen anytime soon.
Oh.
Removing the duplicate platform stuff. Unfortunately, because they don't put them back to back, there's not really a good way for me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it also screwed something up. Because I feel like it lost a few of them, so I'm like, yeah, we're just not doing that right now. Not till I can think of a better way of doing that.
Well, Thursday, folks, we're gonna wrap up Miles. Friday will be us probably getting the rest of the par scores for Halo 3.
Probably.
I can think of one level that's going to be, or, well, no, 2 levels that'll be a pain in the ass for us.
Maybe. Because they might not even be.
I think Cortana will probably be a pain in the butt.
Maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah. And I say Halo just because of the starting part of that.
No, that one won't be a problem.
Yeah.
As long as we can go quick enough, that one won't be a problem at all.
Yeah.
Cortana could be, but I feel like there's so many enemies that if we just kind of take that one slower, we're fine.
Yeah.
That is one good thing about, you know, already doing the part-times.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, thank God.
Mm-hmm. But Saturday will be a multiplayer co-op thing of some variety, and then Sunday or Monday will be us continuing Base Wars.
Probably Monday.
Probably. So, if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that affiliate goal. At TG Soon on Twitter gets you updates when we're live. Exclamation point Discord and chat gets the Discord link. Drop by, say hi. We'll see you Thursday, folks.